this naturally has really high disease resistance. You can see how many buds are forming on that rose. So Bright and Shiny and Shining Moment, both great Will Radler roses that just have that really thick glossy foliage and just tons and tons of flowers that just keep coming and buds. So yeah, it's like a peachy color.
Yeah.
So awesome. Someone's in the Netherlands. Harriet from the Netherlands. Hi. Jenny asked, so good to zone 8 heat. Yeah, zone 8 would be great for Will Radler genetics. Just always look on the product pages to make sure that that range fits you. Most roses are good up until 9. Sometimes there are some roses in 10s and 11s that maybe can't handle it. But zone 8 is usually pretty good with heat. So, all right, let's see. Let me see if there's any other Will Radler ones. Oh, we saved the coolest one for last. Let's grab Floxy Baby. So, the thing I love about these roses. So there's a whole series of roses that were introduced years ago called lookalikes, and their different breeders' roses are in there. You would not believe the incredible formation of different rose flowers and how they portray themselves. Floxy Baby is part of the lookalike series that the flowers literally look like phlox. So if you've ever had like creeping phlox or phlox paniculatas, you can see how little those flowers are. I don't know if you can kind of take a snippet of one, Ryan, and kind of show them up a little bit closer. You can see it literally looks like a phlox flower. If you've ever had those creeping phlox that bloom, but look at that bud, how it's pink and it opens like a pale pink and then finishes white. You can also see how very, very dense this rose is. This thing produces tons of flowers when it's blooming. It's such a unique rose. It's definitely a collector's rose. It's super hard to find on the market now because I think a lot of people were like, what is that? Is that a rose? Is that a potentilla? Is that like, what the heck is that? Is that a phlox that's just gotten really big? This is a rose. This is called Lookalikes Floxy Baby. Really hard to find. I couldn't believe when I found some. We only have a few of these on the website. But it's very bushy. So no, it's not a rambler. It won't climb. How big does it get? Floxy Baby will get like 3 to 4 feet high and wide. It tends to stay kind of lower, and that's at its max. So it's very bushy. It'll have tons of flowers on it. And the thing is a pollinator magnet. So because it's a 5-petal rose, which is considered a single, although they bloom in clusters. So it looks like more of them. And it's very open for pollinators. So this thing, when you see it in mass, I've seen it in our production fields. It is like covered in pollinators. They are just so attracted to that. So this is such a unique rose. It's a collector's rose. This is one of those things that if you don't get it now, it may never come again. It's kind of the last of the crop. It's an old rose from Will Radler that Star introduced years ago. So it's Lookalikes Floxy Baby. I've actually had people reach out to me saying, how can I find this rose? I saw it in some garden somewhere. It's one of those obscure roses that, because it doesn't look like a typical rose, just really didn't make it, which is sad because it's an incredible performer. Own root, bushy, lots of flowers, great for pollinators. Just a cool texture. If you're big into like cottage gardening and you love that look, this is a great texture in your cottage garden because it's going to be wispy and airy. And it's one of those plants that people are going to walk by and be like, wait, what is that? What is that plant? So it's a cool conversation piece, and it's a cool thing to have in your garden. So not very many of them. If you're a member, it's in the store. It'll be in the store just today. It'll pop out tomorrow to regular members. So okay, I think that's all of our Will Radler roses that we're going to talk about today. Let's see. Make sure I got them all. I think so. Okay, so I hope you learned something new about Will Radler, that his rose collection goes beyond knockout, way beyond knockout. climbers, high petal count, unusual things like Floxy Baby, green roses. So lots of really amazing things. He's an incredible person. He's super, super passionate about the rose world. And he does so much charity work. He's an incredible person. And you should all have some, even if you don't want to knock out in your garden or you want to try something different, you need to have a Will Radler rose in your garden. Great beginner roses too. If you're new to rose gardening and you want to make sure you're successful, anything with a Will Radler is going to be really good for you. Okay, let's do some Dr. James Sproul roses. Let's bring up the Iconics. Maybe the plum one that has some flowers on it right now. Okay, so Dr. James Sproul. He is a breeder out of Bakersfield, California. So he breeds not that far from Grace Rose Farm. And he's actually was an orthopedic doctor who breeds roses in his backyard. I've been to his place before. As you can see, this one is called Iconic. This one's Plum Lemonade. He does all sorts of different breeding, but he loves to play with Houthemias. So Houthemias are roses that have a dark center. They're Persian roses. And so he has incredible things. The Iconic series of roses have been out a while. They're hit and miss available in the market. This one is one of his more popular ones. It's called Plum Lemonade because it's lavender. And so it has a nice, beautiful purple coloration to it. As you can see, really, really bushy. Could you maybe pluck one of those roses off and show it up close so they can see that really dark eye to it? Houthemias are, oh yeah, look at that. And interesting thing about this one, this is a double Houthemia. So Houthemias generally are single petaled, which means they just have 5. And so these ones are double, but they're still open enough that you get to enjoy the eye and the stamens. So you can see just how gorgeous that darker eye is, and just that really beautiful lavender color. So as you can see, lots of buds, lots of flowers, very bushy plant. This is one of those, another one that's like, it's such a unique rose. Houthemias do tend to do better in drier regions of the country. So people who are in humid climates, you're going to need to do some disease maintenance on these. They do get black spots. So, but on the West Coast, these things are powerhouse. So if you're in a dry climate, these are definitely really good for you. So these are all own root, which is wonderful. So they're winter hardy. So like in Utah, where we get cold winters, we have dry summers. This is a great plant for people in Intermountain West, West Coast. Doesn't mean you can't have them in humid areas, but just be aware that you're going to have to do like a spray program on them to keep them foliated. So Iconic is spelled Eyeconic, I like your eye, conic, which is kind of a fun play in the words that it's like these roses have eyes in them, and it's iconic because they're really unique and different. So Jenny's asking, please tell me you have a lot. I think we have like 20 or so of each of these. We have 2 colors to offer you. We have Plum Lemonade, and then Ryan, we should have the Mango Lemonade there as well. So if purple's not your color and you want to try an Iconic or a Houthemia, this one is Mango Lemonade. So when it first comes out, maybe pluck one and kind of.
They're not in the best shape at the moment, but
yeah,
I will pluck it off.
Yeah, those ones are kind of finishing, so you get to see how Mango Lemonade finishes. So as it finishes, it gets lighter. When it first comes out, it has that beautiful like peach yellow, and then it fades to white, but it has that beautiful dark eye in it. And also, once again, a double flower. So it has more than 5 petals on it. You can even see, can hold it a little bit closer. Some Houthemias will have like a double eye or a double ring. So it goes light to dark to kind of light in the center. And that one has that, which is kind of neat. But as you can see, it's a very bushy plant as well. So, but it's the same. Euthemias in general, although they're getting better, perform better in dry climates. So we have the mango lemonade from Dr. Sproul and then the plum lemonade from Dr. Sproul. He is an incredible human being. If you're not friends with him on Facebook, you should be, because he's it's James Sproul is his name. You should befriend him because he actually lost one of his legs, and he has a prosthetic, and he is an inspiration. He does all of these marathons and talks about his struggles and how he just pushes through. He's an incredible person, incredible breeder. He's super passionate. The way he breeds and makes selections is really unique too. So let's show you a couple more of his that we have that we're introducing. Let's show Powerpuff Pink. So Powerpuff Pink. So he does Euthymia work. He actually also works on polyanthus, but he does all sorts of other things. So this next one we're going to show you is Powerpuff Pink. Oh my goodness, I love this rose so much. I'm not a huge fan of the name, but I love the rose. So as you can see, it's very cupped. It's very old fashioned. But one of the things I love is, Ryan, if you could show those buds, something that's really unique about Powerpuff Pink is they have very round buds like peonies. This is a very peony-like flower. The difference between this and a peony is that this one blooms all summer. Let's see.
See them?
Kind of. There was another stem that, oh yeah, those ones there. There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you can kind of see that one, how it's very like rounded and then it opens up and it has this cupped form. As you can see, it blooms in clusters. So they form in sprays. And so the beautiful thing about these is like you can cut one and you have an entire bouquet of these peony-like flowers. Very healthy plant, very prolific bloomer. I planted some of these up at one of our church buildings here a few years ago just to like watch it and see how it does in a very landscape type situation. And the thing is always flowering. It's an incredible rose. It's an incredible form. I don't know if you can show a closer up of some of the ones that are kind of blooming a little bit. Yeah. Thank you. Powerpuff Pink is, he has some really interesting way that he breeds too. And so he gets some really unique features out of roses. But you guys will love this one. The thing's always blooming, blooms in sprays. So wonderful for bringing in for cuts. Very bushy, very compact. This is a great rose if you have somewhere where you want it to be like under 3 feet tall, but you want something that blooms in sprays and like it literally looks like a peony bush, other than the foliage obviously is very different. But just this compact form, the same place you would put it as a peony, somewhere in the sun that stays kind of small, under 3 feet, and just continuous blooming. So own root, great winter hardiness. Really love this one. So let's do, okay, let's end. Oh, you know what? Why don't you grab Thrive? This is Thrive. It should be red.
Wow. Thrive?
Thrive, yeah.
I don't see
Yep.
that.
Thrive, exclamation point.
I don't think we got that.
Okay, well, we can't show you that one, but maybe I'll tell you a little bit about it. While I'm telling you about this, do you want to grab Brickhouse Pink?
Yes.
So Thrive is another beautiful rose by Dr. Sproul, and it is a true brick red, and it is a powerhouse bloomer. You should go check out the pictures on the website, but Thrive is another really, really great plant. Hey, so Brickhouse Pink. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Brickhouse series. Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
I'm doing a live right now. You want to come say hi?
No.
Okay. My son just got home from school, so I'll be done just a little bit. Okay. We're talking about roses. He's like, of course you're talking about roses, Mom. Okay, so this one here that he's showing you is Brick House Pink. So this is one of those roses that I can always tell, like if I'm going to trial gardens or out into the fields, I can identify a Brick House Pink from way far away. It's one of those, like, you can drive by it a million miles an hour and you would know that this is Brick House Pink. The thing's always blooming. It's like electric pink on the shrub, really glossy foliage. In order for a rose to be called Brick House, the Brick House is a series of roses. Two of them are Mayans and one of them is a Dr. Sproul. They have to have a couple things: super compact, super bright colors, and super glossy foliage. They have to be like, those are the keys to Brick House. And it's a great name because it really explains that it's just like, you can't kill these things. And they're always blooming. They're bright. They're like show-stopping type of flowers. So you can see just how vibrant that color is. You can see it's a double. It has about 10, 12, 15 petals most of the time. Opens up and shows those gorgeous stamens in the center. But those, like, that really dark glossy foliage and the fact that it's always blooming and compact. Brick House roses are great for containers. They're great landscape plants. They're great for front of the border. They're great for like back of your yard where you want some powerhouse color to draw your eye. Brick House comes in red, and also there's a new one called orange. But this one's from Dr. Sproul, a U.S. rose breeder, called Brick House Pink. This one is winning awards like crazy. Incredible rose, incredible genetics behind it. So I hope you check that one out. I think we got all of Dr. Sproul's roses. So we're going to do, why don't we do, let's do David Slezak, Dr. Slezak's roses. These are the pretty polys. We have three. We have some polyanthas. These are I think our first polyanthas in the store. So Dr. Slezak actually studied under Mr. Radler, and now he does his own breeding. So he has a lot of breeding. What'd you say? You can't play right now because I'm on the live. I'll be done in a little bit. He wants to play Minecraft, but he has to wait because the TV's in the same room as me. So Pretty Polys. So Pretty Poly is a series of roses of polyanthas. If you're not familiar with polyanthas, all the different species of roses, this is one where I wish I could get a polyantha in everybody's yard in America because they look dainty, they look delicate, they look very feminine, but they are tough as nails. So maybe show the lavender one. Did that one have the one with the most flowers on it right now? Which one has the most flowers?
Yeah, probably lavender.
Okay. So if you're not familiar with polyanthas, polyanthas are these delicate little tiny, like little roses. The flower reminds me a lot of like flowering almond. We kind of showed you some pictures of it yesterday. You can see how like full and frilly they are and very delicate. They bloom in clusters, and polyanthas also have very dense foliage to them. So the interesting thing is they look like they're super delicate. They don't even really look like a rose, but they are super winter hardy. These are zone 4. These are own roots. They are always blooming. They attract pollinators like crazy because they're fragrant, and they're super drought tolerant. So if you live somewhere where water is an issue, a lot of these roses have won Blue Ribbon Awards through UC Davis irrigation trials. And to tell you a little bit about a Blue Ribbon Award, which is really rare for plants to get, they have to be able to survive these irrigation trials. So what they do is they know how much a plant normally needs water to look great, and then they start reducing it in percentages. And a Blue Ribbon winner gets 20% of its irrigation. And in order for it to win that ribbon, it has to be able to still have a couple things. Number one, it still has to be able to flower and be ornamental and beautiful and overwinter. And so Blue Ribbon roses are incredibly drought tolerant. Okay, there's not a lot of roses that have won that. There's some drifts. The Brick House Red won. Some Pretty Pollies have won. Ice Cap is another one, which, by the way, is a Will Radler and a Mayon bred rose. It's part of their collaboration, their seed collaboration. Pretty Pollies are so feminine and delicate, but gosh, they are tough, and I love it. I wish everybody had these in their yards. So they do really well everywhere. Like a drift rose, they're one of the few roses that really perform the same everywhere they're at. So it doesn't matter where you live, if you're humid, hot, cold, wet, dry. Polyanthas are really good performers. And Dr. Slezak specializes in polyanthas. Okay, there's some other cool colors coming down the pipeline. This one is lavender. So right now we have pink, lavender, and white. And the lavender one, when it first comes out, it really has that beautiful blue, kind of bluish pink lavender tones in it. And then it finishes lighter. And so as it ages and progresses, you get all these different kind of shades. So just a really cool texture. This is a front of the border type of rose. This is a rose you would plant in front of other roses, right? Very short, very compact, very delicate, fun for in bouquets for a different texture. So love these roses. They are awesome on trees because they almost kind of weep a little bit. So they're also really cool in a tree form, which we'll have for you guys in Bare Root coming up. So these are Pretty Polly roses bred by Dr. Slezak, who is a U.S. rose breeder who studied under Mr. Radler. So that's those 3 roses. So we have those launched this weekend as well. Okay, I think the last one, we want to do one more rose breeder. This is going to be the other climber, the Cherry Frost. So Julie Overom is a U.S. breeder, and she doesn't have a lot of roses on the market, but this is her most famous one. It's been around a while, and thank goodness it is. Cherry Frost, as you can see, the foliage is really small. Cherry Frost is a red blooming climber, and they bloom. Their blooms are tiny, but there's tons of them. And the reason why this rose is so famous and it's been around for so long is because it was the first truly Zone 4 cane hardy climbing rose that was on its own root.
We go.
And incredibly, yeah, look, okay, there is one flower going there right there. You can see how little the flowers are, but they bloom in huge clusters. And you can also see how well it foliates all the way down to the bottom. And so you get tons of blooms on this climbing rose. So if you're in a cold climate that had a hard time getting roses to grow big enough to maybe a lot of winter dieback to cover something, Cherry Frost is your rose. Incredibly beautiful red. Not a lot of fragrance, but lots of flower power. You can see how bushy and how many lateral branches it produces. So it's a great rose for covering large areas in colder climates. So I'm really excited about that one, that we're able to offer this. I've never seen a Cherry Frost this big in production, because generally when they're produced, they're gone. They're like done in a 3-gallon, they're this long, and they're gone. We have these gorgeous estate size roses that are already, as you can see, ready to cover anything. So yeah, that's our U.S. rose breeder highlights. This is our first drop into the store. Did we miss any, Ryan? I think I got them all on my list.
That's all. I'm sorry
Okay.
we didn't have the other one.
Oh, that's okay. Do you want to show up, since we actually have the other one there, do you want to show them the other lookalikes, the bougainvillea?
Sure.
I'm curious what you guys think of this one. Because we don't have it in the store yet. It will be. It's going to be dropped. This is a Mayon rose. It's part of the lookalike series where the arrangement of the petals looks like bougainvillea. So if you're familiar with bougainvillea, it's a vine that you really only see in warm climates. The thing where they bloom forever and they just cover everything. The petals on this are interestingly arranged like a bougainvillea. And so it's just a really unique petal form, and we'll have that in the store later. But I'm just curious what you guys think of these kind of different petal arrangement roses that you may look at and be like, wait a second, is that a rose? It's very different. So that's Lookalikes Bougainvillea, and we'll be dropping that in the store in the next few weeks. So let's see. Dawn was asking, it's huge as a bloom off. I'm assuming you're talking about Jerry Frost. Yeah. So in Pennsylvania, in the trials, so it definitely is a rebloomer. It blooms and it'll kind of rest a little in the summer, and then it reblooms again. So Cherry Frost is a reblooming red climber. So, okay. Is there any other questions? That was kind of our live today. We wanted to show you just some fun, maybe different roses that you maybe would never have considered or even knew existed. They're not produced in very large quantities in the U.S., but they have incredible disease resistance. I would say, roses bred in the U.S. are for the U.S. They're they've naturally been trialed and tested and over many years to be resistant to our specific strains of diseases that we have here. So thanks to Ryan for filling in, to being our, what did you call yourself, Ryan?
You referred to me as Vanna White, so I just said I'm Manna White.
Oh, Manna White, that's right. Thank you for being our Manna White today to show you these beautiful roses. But they are in the membership collection. They'll be in there for today until tomorrow around 11. Then they'll populate on the rest of the store for everybody else. So for non-members, you can choose non-old members. You're open to purchase our membership starting tomorrow morning. So these will be in there till about 11. You guys will notice with your private collections that sometimes they'll be empty because they only sit in there for 48 hours. We're going to try and drop things in for sure at least once a week. And sometimes we'll have other little surprises in there. So that's how the 48-hour early access to non-exclusives works. So that was all of what we talked about today. So these are not roses exclusive to us, but they're new roses that we're putting in the store. And so as a member, you get the first stab at them. Some of them, we brought in had like only a few. Some had 7. Some of them had 20. So we just want to give you first access to some of these unique and different things before we put them in the store. So Ashley's asking, what day of the week will items stop? So, drop. I figured you meant drop. Most of the time we're going to drop them in on Fridays. We dropped them in yesterday because we launched membership and we wanted to have something in your private collections to look at. Most of the time they're going to be dropped on Fridays. So, but we actually have so many product drops. We're going to have some other fun surprises all during the week. But the big drops will happen on Fridays. So members will have first access Friday, Saturday, and then non-members will start having access on Sunday. We did that because we know that you have a little more time to online shop on the weekends, or maybe watch a live on a Friday afternoon. So we'll do these every Friday to tell you about what's dropping in the store on Friday. And then we'll announce it on social media, other fun surprise drops that we may have in the future. So, a good day to check your private collections is on Fridays and Saturdays, is when a lot of those products will populate in there. See, Ashley says, how tall does the Princess Chalane Demonical Climber get? I think the website's wrong. It says 5 feet. Great question. And yeah, that needs to be changed. So it will grow. It'll get 10, 12 feet as long as you're training it to be that way. So that's a beautiful thing about how we train these Princess Chalane Demonical Climbers, is that we train them to have a jump start for you. We train them to be 4 to 5 feet already at length, but they get much, much bigger than that. So, okay. Is there any other questions before we let you guys go? I know I'm about to have a long weekend and I'm excited. I'm going to go sleep for a long time, maybe play some Minecraft with my son. Valerie asked, Heidi, are the lives going to continue at 11 Pacific hour? Yeah, we're going to try and keep it at this hour. just to try and keep it middle of the day for everybody. So it's not super late for people and not super early for others. But don't worry, especially with this new platform, these are all recorded and you can watch them at a later time. We're going to always have them. We're going to try and populate these at different places on our website and on our social media so that you can always watch them later. So if you can't join in live, if you're at work, if the time zone doesn't work for you, you'll be able to always watch them later too. So, and Emily's getting ready to play Minecraft with her boys. Yeah, we're going to go build some castles and do some stuff with skellies and what are the other things called, Nils?
Why are you asking that? This is such a random time to ask that.
It is such a random time to ask that. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy these U.S. bred roses. And we're grateful for all of you. So you guys have a great rest of your day and your good weekend.
Bye. Thank you for joining.
Bye, guys.